Well, I must say that when I was walking over here and I saw this 1010 on the back of someone's shirt, I said, boy, that's a nice shirt. And then I was handed one when I came in the front door here. Very nice. Compliments to whoever designed it. Well, we are here as a people of faith tonight. We have listened for the shepherd's voice, and the shepherd is the one who lays down his life for the sheep. Even if your mother or father should forget you, I will never forget you. And that's the good news. That really is the good news. The pro-life movement, contrary to what we might think, didn't really begin in 1973 with the Roe versus Wade decision. Because that movement really began with the inspiration of Christ. The pro-life movement actually began the day that we were exiled from the Garden of Eden. And the pro-life movement was begun by God himself because we left the garden as dead people. And what he has been attempting to do for centuries is chase us down in order to give us life. As he says here, a thief comes only to steal, slaughter, and destroy. But I have come that they might have life. I desire to give you life, and I desire to see it prosper among you. And that's what we go out on this pilgrimage. That's what we do as we travel tonight and go into the morning. We have Mass tomorrow. As we walk, we're going to be praying rosaries, all coming before the Good Shepherd, whom we know has great concern for the gift of life in our midst and in our culture, and who loves all of these little ones, including the weakest among them, perhaps the Down syndrome children who are discovered to be deformed in some way and are aborted just for that reason alone. We all are precious in the eyes of the Good Shepherd. Even if a mother should forget, I will never forget you. That's the fidelity of our God. And so what we are coming before God tonight in prayer, attempting to do is intercede for the victory of life in the lives of the men and women we'll be walking with, in the lives of the men and women who will be contemplating abortions in the next coming year, in the lives of the men and women who have perhaps even had abortions and now regret it, and we want to seek to help them heal, mend, experience this profound love of God that says, even should a mother forget, and you happen to be that mother, I will never forget you. That's the fidelity of our God for the mothers and the fathers, for the grandmothers, for the uncles, for the boyfriends, the girlfriends. It really doesn't matter. Jesus Christ is after each one of us. And we just want to really intercede as a people for the coming of that gift of life in our midst, that it will prosper. Yes, the child in the womb, but also the gift of life that is promoted through the virtue of chastity. The gift of life that is promoted in our service of one another. The gift of life in a word of kindness to someone who looks tired. It's really not that complicated. It's really quite simple. And Jesus wants us to share his life with one another. And so, as we go on this pilgrimage, it's not really a dour time because the sign of life is the joy we'll experience as we're on the journey. I mean, that's really what it is. As we're together as his body, enjoying the fellowship of the Spirit among us, we're meant to rejoice. In the midst of a world that grieves and sighs and gets angry as we walk by, perhaps with a nice spirit of joy in our heart, because Jesus and his promises are being won in our own lives. And we desire others to participate in this with us, and we invite them on the journey. We invite them on the pilgrimage. and you will be, believe it or not, looked at and watched and observed by many people. Over the years, I have received so many comments of the witness this body of college students is. Within the march, within the lunch places you'll go for lunch, for dinner. I've come up in the food line, and a lady says, "Who are you people?" And of course, I look kind of strange in a 13th century garment, you know. She's really wondering, you know, when I come up, and I say it's a great opportunity to witness. And I mean, there's a joy that's so infectious among the men and women who follow Jesus, the joy of obtaining promises and the gift of life. So we go forth tonight in the stealth of the night, and we arrive at dawn to begin a day of prayer, but also a day of joy and rejoicing and witnessing to the life that we have received and sharing that life with one another. And don't be surprised if it gets a little infectious and you have a stranger come up and maybe even ask you for a reason for your rejoicing. Well, St. Peter says, ever be prepared to offer that reason for your hope, because we are people of hope. We thank Jesus tonight for the gift of life we share. Yes, biologically, really, actually, on this face of the earth, but also the gift of life we know in our hearts that gives us joy, hope for the future, because we know Jesus is in our midst, and that makes all the difference. So tonight, as we come before Jesus, let's come forward in gratitude, yes, for the gift of life we have received, and also petition for the gift of life that is being lost, and recognizing that our prayer as his body can do marvels and move mountains and really move hearts, especially the one heart that matters, the Sacred Heart of Jesus. And so let us thank Jesus and let us petition Jesus. Let us go on pilgrimage in fellowship and also in prayer, recognizing as we go, we are witnesses of the good news of the gospel of life.